Ladies and gentlemen, the 66th Annual Grammy Awards premiere ceremony.
Dearly beloved, we are gathered here today to get through this thing called life. Life. We've been left here, put here to figure out how to get it right. How to take our love and heal hearts, transmit light, break down walls, shine bright. We're here to be great. Each action is a keepsake, a rebate of memories we can't discount. Life's a balancing act that we can't dismount. But when we fall, the music helps us stick the landing. When your calling calls, our heart can't help but stick to what our destiny's been planning. The soul is so demanding. Go against the grain and the brain is examined. Study is lovely. When our beliefs take place of our fears, doubts, and maybes, you gotta be bold in order to not be controlled. So, in the words of Prince Almighty, Grammys, let's go crazy! Let's go crazy!
Come on, is up, party people? WTF? Welcome to Funkatopia. I'm your host, Mr. Christopher, just by myself today. But yeah, that was a bunch of folks doing Let's Go Crazy. Yeah, it just kind of depends on, what kind of mode you're in as far as, it's just, it's well, I'm already being interrupted already because apparently YouTube has already given me a copyright stream. So I may not be able to, you guys might not be able to see us on YouTube. Let me know if YouTube is giving you an issue because normally it's Facebook that's normally giving us an issue. But apparently in this particular case, it's YouTube that's giving us an issue. But that's going to happen. So anyways, there it is. If you guys got kicked off on YouTube, I apologize. And I didn't think. See, a lot of times when you play like the song verbatim, like it was an ASCAP licensing or whatever, that's a whole totally different ball game. But when you play a live version of something, it's supposed to make things a little bit easier. And Facebook is normally Facebook is normally, oh, it says lost stream. Yeah, that kind of sucks. So if you're on YouTube, head over to facebook.com/Funkatopia. Or twitter.com/Funkatopia, and you'll be able to check us there. And, I don't know what to tell you. Sorry about that. I don't know what to do. Internet result, but that's a first for YouTube. That's okay. That's all right. It's perfectly okay. How you guys doing? It is, I said I was not going to, they struck me on YouTube. Yeah, that's figured. That's going to happen. I appreciate everybody hanging out. And I said I wasn't going to do a show today, but, there was just so much stuff that was coming. And of course, we forgot about the Grammy scenario. So we wanted to talk a little bit about the Grammys. And so I wanted to do that. So I wanted to talk about the Grammys. And we do have some purple news as well. What's going on? Shriz Amaze is in the house. And all you fine folks that are coming over from YouTube right now, because we lost the stream. So I don't know what to say other than sorry. There is a lot of stuff going on right now. I know a lot of people have questions about what's going on with the celebration. Is the state having a celebration or Paisley Park having a celebration this year? What's going on with that? Is there stuff going on in April? Is there stuff going on? We don't know. But I do have, a little bit of news and whatnot that we'll share, but I think we're going to go ahead and cover some of the cover some of the fine stuff that happened at the Grammys. But first, let me say hello to everybody. Normally I would say this is the pre-show, but this is not really kind of the pre-show. We kind of just went right into it. I know it's a little bit early, but that's okay. Hey, Susie, what's going on? Dance with Faith, Jason, Nathan, what's going on? Yeah, it's, I realize that Jason can't be Horizon's dream, but he won the book last week for Picturing Prince, and he's already got it, so that's good. Probably came today, or yeah, what to say. So April, what's going on? I hope everybody's doing well. Samantha, yep, I know YouTube went down. I got it. Patricia, what's going on? Joni, what's going on? Yeah, I'm sure that I will be dealing with that later on from the YouTube world. I'm sure they're going to say something really, really, due to a copyright match, your stream was interrupted. Streams are interrupted when copyright content is detected after copyrighted material is no longer being streamed. Streams are automatically re-enabled. Okay, so YouTube should be coming back on here shortly. So we'll see. So that's how we're going to start this off. So let's just go ahead and get into it, shall we? I mean, I don't know how many people actually watch the Grammys. I typically don't watch the Grammys too much just because of the fact that I feel like, I don't know, as I get older, I just feel like I'm just more and more out of touch. Especially this kind of came up with our friend Killer Mike here in Atlanta. He won 3 awards and then immediately got arrested, right? Not immediately, but shortly after got arrested for like a little minor altercation with some security guard that I guess wanted a moment of fame or whatever. But it was a lot of people saying there was a little bit of a political slant that happened as a result of that. We're going to talk about that in a second because obviously we're in Atlanta. So we're going to talk about Killer Mike and some of the stuff that he does. And there's a lot of people that are outside of Atlanta who don't even know who Killer Mike is. And that's kind of a little bit of a shock because Killer Mike has been doing it for many, 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 many years. And he's, been with, he performed on a couple of Outkast albums as well. And I mean, you know who he is, you just don't know who he is. And he also raps for his other project called Run the Jewels. So he's been around for a long time. So we're going to talk about that because I think it's kind of funny that all these rap purists that actually have rap channels, we're not even a rap. This is not even a rap channel. And I can tell you, I know who Killer Mike is. I mean, mainly because I'm in Atlanta, but I also know who Killer Mike was through Outkast. So he was also from Atlanta. So I just, all these people that are freaking out about, I can't believe he beat Travis Scott. How did he beat, 21 Savage? How did he beat all these people? I don't even know who he is. Who is this guy? Blah, 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 blah. You suck. Like, okay, just, it's kind of funny just kind of watching it all unravel, but that is the reality of what it is. I feel you though. I'm out of touch. So, Greg, what's going on? Milwaukee checking in. I'm just going to go ahead and just throw this little tidbit out there just to do it. I may very well may possibly be in Minneapolis in April for the 8-year anniversary. I know that there are some things going on in Minneapolis during that weekend. The 21st happens to fall on Sunday, I think. Yeah, the 21st happens on Sunday, which is the anniversary of his passing. And I know that there's some concerts happening on that Saturday. I know there's some. I know there's some things that are happening, some of which hasn't even been announced yet, but unfortunately, when you've been in this mix. So anyways, I'm thinking about it. I'm thinking about possibly going to Minneapolis, maybe possibly having a candlelight ceremony, like I did. I'm trying to remember what year that was. I think it was the 5-year anniversary. I think. I don't remember. But I did a whole candlelight ceremony. It was not endorsed by Paisley Park. It was not endorsed by the estate. I just kind of said, I'm doing a candlelight ceremony. I feel like this is what needs to happen. We're going to go down. We're going to go down there and we're going to have a whole full-blown candlelight ceremony and just take a moment to just kind of chill and relax. And it became a whole thing. There was like a bunch of people there. So we had a really, really good time. I don't know how many people, a couple hundred. I don't know. It was like a massive thing right there. And I just, and it wasn't on Paisley Park, Berkeley. It was across the street, right next to Graffiti Bridge. Anyways, I might do that again. And hopefully that will be, I don't know how many people would be interested in coming, but I just know that there's some other things that are going to be going on April 20th and April 21st in and around town. So I'm thinking that might be a cool time to do it. I don't know. We'll let you know. Apparently YouTube is back up. I see that. Claire was there. Yeah, that was fun. I had a really good time. That we had, Denny the mayor, the previous mayor, was there. And I mean, there was like a bunch of people there. Chaz was there, Prince's cousin. There was just a lot of people there. And it was just it was a good time. And hopefully we can reenact that. I think we probably can. I don't know. We'll see. We'll talk about it. Let's talk about the Grammys real quick. Okay. 66 Grammy Awards premiere ceremony. You just got done hearing Let's Go Crazy. That was a bunch of people that you've probably never heard of because Jay Ivy, I'm not really familiar with. He did the intro to Let's Go Crazy. He was actually nominated for Best Spoken Word Poetry Album. I don't know what the poetry album was, but he had really good voice and was good. Then they had the little mini choir behind him, which was obviously Pentatonics, who was very, very well known. They were also nominated for Best Traditional Vocal Album. And then the two girls that are on the guitar and slide guitar was a band called Larkin Poe, who I've never heard of them. I don't know who they are, but they were like all over the place. There was another band that was nominated, Boy Genius or something like that. I can't remember the name of the band, but they were like nominated and won like a bunch of awards, and I've never heard of them, but they're like it's a girl band called Boy Genius. So I'm interested in kind of checking some of these bands out. I'm always interested in like looking to see these newer acts that I've never heard of, and just kind of let's just see. Let's just kind of take a peek. And then of course coming out and hitting some of those crazy high notes, Jordan Sparks, who we all know and love. But she's actually, I just thought she kind of disappeared, but apparently she's now in Christian music, or I don't know if this last album that she did was a Christian album, and now that's where she's at, is in the Christian music world. Which is great. I don't have a problem with that at all. There's a lot of great Danny Goki. There's so many great vocalists that cross over into the Christian music world, which is a really, really good place. Because if you have a really good voice and you have that, let's just face it, the Christian music world really loves to get, it's not like this massive. I mean, it's massive, but it's not like going out and trying to conquer radio. I mean, I can't think of everybody who's done it. I mean, Carrie Underwood, Kelly Clarkson, I mean, who Jordan Sparks kind of hit it a little bit, but for the most part, it's a really good place to land for somebody who wins something like American Idol or something like that, because you have that built-in fan base that have supported you and voted for you during this whole entire time. And I tell you what, Christian music fans, man, they come out in droves to support. And that's your belief, and you can establish a good fan base. It's a really good place to land. And it's a good, I don't know. I've considered it even. I know it's kind of weird to think about that, but yeah, that was back in the day. And then of course, closing out, Toby Mac, correct. Thank you, Jason. That's a good point. What Chrissy says, she was there at the last event, and she still has her candle, and it was just funny because right behind me, I have a box of candles. Now that the box of candles that I brought last time they were all purple candles, and we had the guards and everything. And what was cool is that I set up a specific playlist to happen during that, I thought maybe 3-hour window that we were going to be there on the Funked Up radio station. And I had everybody pull up the Funked Up radio station on their phones so that there was like just like a soundtrack to what was going on. So it was really cool. It went over really, really well. And it was like the same song playing everywhere. Everybody was, I thought there may be connectivity issues or whatever that may cause delays or echoes or whatever. And it wasn't. It was great. It was fantastic. So hopefully we'll be doing it again. Greg says we're going to see John Batiste in Chicago this month. Yeah, John Batiste was all over. I hate it for him because I don't know that he won any awards. I don't know that he won any awards in the Grammy, but I know he was nominated for a bunch, and he lost a bunch that I saw. Like, for instance, the Let's Go Crazy thing that we just watched at the beginning caused a bunch of problems with YouTube. They actually that was not broadcast. And I know that there was like a bunch of stuff, and maybe I'm wrong because I did not watch it live. I watched it the next day on, wasn't Hulu, was it Paramount Plus or whatever, wherever it ended up after this. Peacock, I don't know. So I watched it, and it was a whole 3-hour event, but like that whole section of where Killer Mike won those 3 awards was not there. That intro with all his folks playing Let's Go Crazy, and again, Chili E was in there too, was not there. So there was a whole bunch of parts that were not broadcast. And that's really typical because they have tons of awards, lots of things that are given away in the background. I know Michelle Ndegeocello won for her Omnichord. I can't remember the name of the album, but anyways, I know she won for best jazz alternative or something. So there's like a bunch of artists that I would have liked to have seen won that did win, but it was not broadcast. Am I wrong? Did they not broadcast any of that? Yeah, there was a lot left out. Thank you for, I thought I was crazy, but yeah, it's great. There's like tons of stuff that was not there. But the whole event, as far as the broadcast version, was hosted by Trevor Noah. At the beginning, I think Trevor's funny. He was great. Oh, but yeah, this is awesome. I don't know if you guys know this or not. I used to love Daily Show back when Jon Stewart was hosting it. I just found out that February, is it 14th or 16th? Maybe 12th. It's one of these even days, 12th, 14th, or 16th. Daily Show is coming back, and Jon Stewart is coming back to host the Daily Show. That's going to be fantastic. I think Trevor Noah did a fantastic job on the Daily Show, but he left, and I guess to do stand-up comedy and whatever else that he's doing. But Jon Stewart is coming back to Daily Show, and it's going to be airing this month, somewhere in the middle of the month. I don't know the exact date. You can look it up. But anyways, the event was hosted by Trevor Noah, who I thought had a lot of nervous energy, but luckily it didn't translate into any, gaffes or problems or, stammering. He just barreled through it. I feel bad for anybody where English is not their first language, because I feel like, I really feel like what ended up happening is, I forgot to turn things. Hello, everybody on the Funked Up app. This is Mr. Christopher. We are doing the Grammy coverage and also doing a little bit of free for all here. Sorry to interrupt, but I forgot to turn you guys on. And now you're turned on. Hi, how are you? But anyways, we're talking about the fact that it was hosted by Trevor Noah. And if English was not your first language, I really hate it for you, because he was talking 100 miles a minute. It seemed like it was just like, it was just wet. Also Dua Lipa opened up the show musically. Mariah Carey came out. She presented the first award for the best pop solo artist, which was all women, no men in the mix whatsoever. And it was Doja Cat, Miley Cyrus, Taylor Swift, Olivia Rodriguez, and Miley Cyrus won. There was a lot of really cool highlights. One highlight that, okay, let me just go ahead and just say, I'm not a really big country music fan. I never really have been. Feel bad. I heard that Toby Keith passed away. I don't know if it was yesterday or this morning, but Toby Keith passed away. But that has nothing to do with anything other than that seemed like a good segue, because we're talking about country music and how I'm not really a huge fan. I have lots of friends who are actually country musicians, and that's cool. But Luke Combs did a cover of Tracy Chapman's song Fast Cars. You may have heard it on the radio. If you listen to the radio at all, it's all over the place. And I think what's interesting about it, doesn't really change much. It's pretty much the exact same song structure and everything, just with Luke Combs singing it. I kind of felt like if you're going to do something, maybe bring a little bit of your own. And he just, and so it kind of annoyed me, because also the lyrics in his version also say that he was a checkout girl. So he didn't even change the lyrics to even reflect, he didn't say checkout boy. It didn't change anything, which is fine. I just wasn't a huge fan of his cover of it, because I just felt like he wasn't bringing anything new to the table. However, before Luke came on the show to perform, and he told a story that prefaced his performance, talking about the song and how much the song meant to him, and that he was riding in the country, of course, with his dad in a truck, and he had a cassette player, and this was and Tracy Chapman's cassette was one of the ones that they played all the time, and he became obsessed with the song, and he loved this song. And that's the reason why he played it. So it kind of gave me a little bit, I guess I kind of eased up a little bit once I heard the background story of how much the song meant to him. But what was really cool is that Luke came out and played, and Tracy Chapman came out, who looks fantastic, by the way. She looks totally fantastic. She actually came and performed the song with him, and they actually exchanged verses going back and forth. So I think, for obviously with Tracy Chapman, she is a storyteller. So it kind of reminds me of like a female version of like Bob Dylan. Obviously not vocally, but like the strength in the songwriting is the lyrics, because there's a story that's there. It's like she tells a story in the form of a song, and you can kind of get enveloped in it, and you can kind of, But it was good to see Tracy because I have not seen her since this song was on the radio. It's just surprising. I just kind of felt like she just fell off the planet, but there she was on stage with Luke Combs, and she was fantastic. I was very, very happy to see her, and again, she looked fantastic. Bunch of people with Carol G won for Best Urban Latin. SZA was out. SZA was like nominated for like a ton of different things, and I just I think it's kind of crazy to me that, SZA kind of gets treated like a brand new artist because a lot of people don't know this, but she has been around for a really long time, a really long time. I first heard SZA, I want to say it was like 2014, 2015. It was like a decade ago. And it was for a song called Sweet November, which is probably one of my favorite songs by her ever. She was just this, it's just such a great song, but it's an old song. And a lot of people are just now discovering SZA, like, oh, she's so cool. She's so brand new. It's like SZA's been around for a very long time. So there's that. But anyways, Billie Eilish was there. She played What Was I Made For? Miley Cyrus won a lot of awards for the song Flowers. But overall, as I said, it was a really Prince heavy night. And I don't think that we have seen, I don't think I've seen a Grammy since Prince's passed that does not involve Prince in some form or fashion, whether it's, an artist winning an award and talking about him, very, very graciously, or just a band playing a song or a tribute being done or something. It's like there's always something that involves Prince in every single Grammy. It's like you can't do anything that's music related in the pop world, especially in the Grammy world, and you not mention Prince. It's just not possible. Like this particular one, here we are about to cross over in just a couple of months here. We're about to cross over the 8-year anniversary of Prince's passing. And there was the opening of Let's Go Crazy with Sheila E. and that entourage of folks. Lizzo came out and to do a award presentation, and she thanked Prince. SZA won for Snooze, and she thanked Prince also, but when she mentioned it, I was like, is she talking about Prince, or maybe she's talking about some other Prince? But she thanked Prince in her speech. And then, of course, as I see that somebody here has already mentioned, was that in the in memoriam section, obviously this Sinead O'Connor was in that in memoriam. And so to do an in memoriam for Sinead O'Connor, instead of playing one of her songs like from The Lion and the Cobra or something, they played a Prince song, and they played Nothing Compares to You. And Wendy and Lisa are there on stage with her. So it's just Annie Lennox from the Eurythmics. Annie Lennox singing out front. She's singing Nothing Compares to You. And you've got Wendy and Lisa playing there. So that's actually pretty cool that there was like such a really heavy, even with him not with us anymore for all these years. And then on top of that, there was also for the best rap album, which was not televised, Jimmy Jam. I mean, there's still a tie there. Jimmy Jam presented that award to Killer Mike. So there was like a lot of different things that were going on all night that touched on Prince. I mean, he was just, Lisa said it best. He was so influential. It makes sense that he's mentioned in a tribute. Yes, Greg, that is absolutely correct. He also said that Joni Mitchell, I actually have a picture here. This is Joni Mitchell. She actually came out and performed. She hasn't performed in a long time. She had a lot of health issues. And I know that she, Brandy Carlisle has really kind of latched herself onto Joni Mitchell just as an artist. And one of the things that we saw was that, there were some appearances that she had made at some festivals where she's sitting in a chair and everybody's just kind of sitting around her. But she had a bunch of health scares. I don't know all the specific health scares that she had, but she had to learn how to walk. She had to learn how to re-talk. So it was pretty intense. That she was actually on there singing by herself, because the previous recordings that I had seen of her performing live, she was not, she was not able to fully really kind of take the lead on anything. She was just kind of singing along. And I think everybody just kind of felt like, that's kind of over. I think we're kind of done. But Joni Mitchell came out and she sang Both Sides Now. And a lot of people don't know this, but that song, Both Sides Now, is where Prince got the title for the Times album, Ice Cream Castles, because Joni Mitchell sings about ice cream castles. And so, yeah, there's the Joni Mitchell influence there. There's, it is what it is. I think it's awesome. I think it's great. There's just so much there. One of the things I will say, thank you, Patricia. She said Johnny had a brain aneurysm. I wasn't exactly sure. I know there were some other things too, not just that. There were some other things as well. But yes, nothing compares to Prince. One thing that really blew me away was that they did a live broadcast from Las Vegas from U2, playing in the Sphere. For those who don't know, U2, the legendary band U2, they have a Las Vegas residency right now in this huge building called the Sphere. And I wasn't really sure what it was. I thought maybe they had kind of revamped a theater or something. I guess I thought that they had revamped a theater and just kind of made it like a sphere or whatever. But apparently this is a huge friggin' building that is a massive, massive sphere. And you can project all kinds of craziness on the outside of it. And on the inside, it's even more insane. So U2 played a couple of new songs, or it was like one or two songs that were brand new, that I was not familiar with. That they played in the Sphere. And I was thinking, oh my gosh, I know that Prince has already had a Las Vegas residency, but how friggin' amazing would it be if Prince had a residency in Las Vegas in this friggin' Sphere? That would be friggin' legendary. Let me just show you a picture. Apologies to the folks that are on the Funked Up app, but this is just a couple of visuals this is the Sphere from outside, where they have projected the moon on the outside of this building. During the U2 live performance, they actually had like the Grammy Award like blown up, and there was some other things that were kind of moving around, but this thing is just unfriggin' real to me. But what's even crazier is that when you're inside of this Sphere, the stage is like bottom front, and all of the kind of like you would expect in like, what's the favorites, the big opera house. It's the Sydney Opera House in Australia. It's kind of like that on the inside, but it's like, it's a closed Sphere. So there's seating all throughout it. And there are huge, massive visuals that kind of go up the walls. And it's just staggering. Here's a picture inside of this, where the band is playing inside, and you can see like the whole, and all the audience down on the floor. And when they do the other side, when they show from the view from the stage, there's actually also balcony seating that kind of goes up, but they can put insane visuals all up and down. And I think during the U2 live performance, they actually had like a bunch of moving graphics, and it looked like it was going through a town and whatever. And it was just like IMAX on steroids. It was just, everything was just so vivid. It was like you were in the middle of this thing. And of course, when they're doing things like graphics like this, it's unbelievable. So I can't even fathom what Prince would do if he had access to a stadium like this. It's just like, yeah, Joni says like the planetarium. Yeah, it's just like a planetarium. It's like a massive, massive planetarium. And it's just unbelievable to me. I would, oh yeah, that would be a great idea. Nathan says, damn, I want to invent a crystal ball TV. I mean, could you do something like that? I mean, do like the anniversary of Crystal Ball inside of the sphere and just create all kinds. He could just create all kinds of insane visuals and do whatever he wanted to do. I mean, this would just be, man. It's just, it's unbelievable, unbelievable, this sphere thing. So my mind just kind of went off in this thing. It's like, obviously Prince is no longer with us and that kind of sucks, but I just would love, I mean, I almost literally want to go out and check out the sphere with YouTube, but I know that after that broadcast, people are like, oh, that's what it is. Okay. Yeah. I'm getting a ticket. I saw U2 here in Atlanta, and the visuals that they had in a regular auditorium was staggering. So I can't even imagine what this whole entire full show looks like. I know that the residency went fantastically well, sold out from the beginning to the end. And so now that they're actually continuing, they've actually extended this residency, but whew, man, congratulations to you two. That's pretty freaking amazing. Then of course, a bunch of different things. I mean, Taylor Swift, pretty much killed the night. Obviously, she also closed it out, not to fast forward to the end of this, but Taylor Swift won Album of the Year, which makes her the first person to ever win 4 albums in a row, and the most wins by a woman at all, which is 12. And I don't want to be attacked by an army of Swifties, but I really don't. I just don't understand the phenomenon of Taylor Swift. I just don't. I don't think that her music is horrible. I think she's got good songwriting skills. I think, but it just seems so. I'm not trying to be insulting at all. I'm just saying I feel like it's just that the material is very cookie cutter. She has a few songs that are kind of, stand out, but I mean, when you compare her music to like the library of Prince's music, not in volume, but in no 2 songs from Prince ever sounded the same. Like nothing sounded the same at all. It was always insanely different from one side to the next. And you never knew what you were going to get every single time that a Prince album came out, or even on the same album, songs would be all over the map. So no matter what you like, there was always, you're probably going to find something on every single album that you're going to dig. I mean, unless there's like, albums that focus really specifically on something like News, or Kama Sutra, or something really specific like that. But for the most part, I mean, his songs were all over the place. And I just don't get that with Taylor Swift. I just kind of feel like it's the same thing. It just so repetitive. But people are programmed to it, and there are people who are hardcore Swifties. I don't know. I'm probably just an old guy, I guess. I think maybe the bar has been set, and I just feel like it's not there. Not to that extent, especially since Prince has never won Album of the Year. So that's kind of shocking to me. For somebody who gave us that insane lineage of albums, from Dirty Mind to Controversy to 1999 to Purple Rain to Around the World in a Day to Sign of the Times to Parade to, give us this insane lineage of albums, and none of them get a nod to say that's the freaking greatest album that's ever been written. It's insane to me. It doesn't make any sense. But yet Taylor can put out an album that has about 12 to 15 songs of stuff that sounds very similar to each other from one song to the next. And she also took the time to, at the end, while she was at her acceptance, to announce that she's got a brand new album coming out in April. Okay. We're old. Lisa said Bruno Mars was the last popular artist that grabbed me. I would have to say that I'm very, very, I love, there's some great bands. Like, I think, Hiatus Coyote really kind of grabs my attention when they kind of stay a little bit more, when they release music that's a little bit more digestible, like this new song called Everything's Beautiful. Is fantastic. I mean, I love to see some new material from guys like, Van Hunt and, bands like that. I would love to be able to see some stuff. It's about time for Jesse Johnson to put out a new album. I mean, how long are we going to have to wait for that? Because, I don't know. And yeah, Andrew says, I'm not going to hate on her though. I'm not hating on her. I'm not hating on her at all. I'm just saying I don't understand it. I just don't understand it. I just don't. No offense to her. I just don't get it. Also, yeah, again, I already mentioned this, but congratulations to Michelle Adegocello, who won inaugural Best Alternative Jazz Album for the Omnichord Real Book. So she actually won a Grammy. So congratulations to her. But so there's some really good artists out there. Yes, Joni says, I think Billie Eilish is very special. Never thought I dig her, but I do. Yeah, Billie is an interesting cat, because she had most of what makes her work is her brother Phineas and the production work that he does. Because I think he takes that music and he does things that are just unbelievable. Just the sounds and the vibes that he's able to create just put an entirely different spin on what she does. I think she, but she's great. But I don't think that she would work really well if it wasn't for her brother Phineas. But again, congratulations to Michelle Adegocello. I would love so much to get Michelle on the show. Plantation Lullabies, her debut album, is still on constant rotation for me. It's one of the best albums ever written, ever produced. The sound, the vibe, it's just Plantation Lullabies for Michelle Adegocello is probably easily one of my favorite albums. I would say it's definitely in that top 20 mix. It's in constant rotation. I friggin' love that album, and it's so funky too. So, but then she never did anything like that ever again. Victoria Monet won for Best New Artist. Travis Scott actually came out there. We're about to start talking here about Killer Mike here in just a minute. But Travis Scott was up for Best Rap Album, and he was going against Killer Mike. So Travis Scott has mad crazy fans, very much like Taylor Swift and Beyonce level type of folks. People are insane about Travis Scott. And I don't have a problem necessarily with Travis. It's not really my style of hip hop, or rap, or I don't really know where he kind of fits in that mix. I think he kind of fits more into the rap category, because most of the stuff that he does, we're talking about Travis Scott though, most of the stuff that he does to me kind of comes across very techno, and his overuse of auto-tune. I'd be really curious, maybe not, but I'd be really curious to hear exactly what it sounds like without him using auto-tune. And because all of his stuff is just, he's a great performer, and he's got crazy energy, and I mean, he's got some great tunes, but I just, for some reason, auto-tune just kind of, when it's that present and that prevalent, just really just, I don't know. It kind of agitates my eardrums a little bit. I don't know. Maybe I'm alone. I don't know, but I just can't. There's only that auto-tune, that heavy auto-tune, which is one of the things that T-Pain, really brought in the hardcore auto-tune. But what's crazy about T-Pain is that I think it was the very first Masked Singer, and he was on the Masked Singer, and nobody knew who it was. Everybody was like, who is this? And he had a great voice. It was like a really kind of blues. It was really kind of a blues soul, really good blues soul sound to his voice, his natural voice. And they took off the mask, and it was, I couldn't believe it was T-Pain. I was just like, what is happening here? Because I am just not used to, I was never used to hearing T-Pain as a vocalist without crazy auto-tune. And I was like, I am just blown friggin' away. I was like, wow, I have a whole entirely brand new respect for T-Pain as a vocalist. But then at the same note, I'm kind of like, I don't get it. If you've got such an amazing voice like that just wiped the floor with every other legit singer up there, and you're not recording that voice, that just doesn't make any sense to me at all. Elisa says his Tiny Desk performance is fire. He can really sing. Yeah, I need to check it out. Yeah, Patricia says T-Pain is an incredible singer. Yeah, he is. He's really, really good. I'm telling you, you got to just look it up on YouTube. Just look for T-Pain masked singer performance. I don't know. And you'll be able to see it. It's like, wow. I was like shocked because even before they unmasked him, was like, I really need to know who this is. This guy's really, really good. And then it was T-Pain. I was like, oh crap. None of his albums have any of that on it. I don't know what this is. Anyways, I am, Lisa says, I listen to a full O-Funk playlist on Spotify, 60 to 80s funk. I listen to the Funked Up app, which has got 24/7 funk. But yeah, I've got tons of stuff on there. Oh, you know what? Also too, Lisa, what I will tell you is that I actually have, and I'll try to pull it up before we leave here. I actually created a playlist, a funk playlist on Spotify. It's not the radio station. It is the funk playlist on Spotify, and it's got everything on there. And it's literally like, I want to say it's like 2 days worth of music. I don't know how long, but it's part of the Funkatopia account, and it's a funk playlist, and it's everything. It's old school, new school, everything all blended together. And it's pretty freaking fantastic. But I think if you go to funkatopia.com/funk-radio, again, that's FUNKATOPIA.com/funk-radio, not only will you be able to listen to the 2 radio stations there online, but I think if you scroll down the page, there's also that Spotify playlist is there, and it's got an insane amount of, it's just, anyways. Lisa says, one complaint I do have about the Grammys is that when Lisa, Wendy, and Ann were ready to perform, they were not announced like Stevie or Jay. Just my opinion. Yeah, I would say, well, they were kind of moving into that in memoriam section. So I don't know that, yeah, I don't know exactly what that was all about. I know that they did introduce Stevie Wonder, but that was because Stevie Wonder and Tony Bennett were really good friends. That started back when there was a cover of For Once in My Life that Stevie did of Tony Bennett's song For Once in My Life. Actually, there was another writer that wrote that song. Tony Bennett did it first, and then Stevie covered it. And then the writer Stevie actually told the story before he performed it. Obviously, I like the upbeat version, Stevie's upbeat version of For Once in My Life, because he actually performed the slowed down version that Tony did, which was just a little bit different. It was very, very different from the normal version. Well, the version that I know, I don't even think I knew that there was a Tony Bennett version. But anyways, there's that. So yeah, and speaking about the in memoriam section, they covered quite a bit of folks. I mean, there was a lot of people that passed away. Nobody that I wasn't aware of. And I'm glad they spent some time honoring Clarence Avant. And Jimmy Jam and Terry Lewis played with John Batiste. They didn't really get a lot of airtime. I mean, they didn't even put the lights on it, but you could tell Jimmy Jam and Terry Lewis were over there playing their guitars over in the corner in the dark. But it was very cool. And Oprah came out to honor Tina Turner with a speech as well. So that was good that Tina Turner was honored there. And then Fantasia actually came out and performed Proud Mary to honor Tina. So there was a lot going on. And then, of course, the last thing that I probably would bring up, there's just a couple more things. Billy Joel came out and performed for the first time in, I want to say it was 30 years or something like that. Like, he hasn't written any songs. He hasn't performed at all. I mean, the guy used to sell out Madison Square. They said in his introduction that he sold out Madison Square Garden over 100 times. That's insane. Over 100 times he sold out Madison Square Garden. And he came and played for the first time in 30 years with a brand new song called Turn the Lights Back On. So that was actually really, really cool to actually see him kind of come out and perform. And then, of course, Dr. Dre has the Global Impact Award. He has the Dr. Dre Global Impact Award that was presented to Jay-Z. And I love that kind of Jay-Z. And Jay-Z kind of came up and kind of called out the Academy for nominating people in categories they shouldn't be nominated in. And it was just funny the way that he said it. I'm not going to do that because I don't want to get hit by YouTube again, but it was a good speech. It was a really good speech. So there's that, but it was a great, great show overall, I would say. I just, I would rather see something like, I like watching like the Soul Train Music Awards or just something that's a little bit more oriented towards the music that I like to listen to. That's just me. So let's, for a second, if we shall, let's talk about Killer Mike. Killer Mike won 3 Grammys. It was a total sweep for the rap categories. He won Best Rap Performance. He won Best Rap Song for the song Scientists and Engineers. Scientists and Engineers actually was Best Rap Performance and Best Rap Song. And then his album Michael, which is the name of his brand new album, that one also. And the Scientists and Engineers song actually features Andre 3000 and who else? There's somebody else in that mix. Future. So there's actually a few people that are on that song with him. So that won 2 Grammy Awards right there. And then, of course, he won the best rap album. And here is, I actually have a little bit of, Lisa says, am I aware of the Funk Center in Dayton? Yes, I am. Oh, you were talking to David. Sorry. Let's play a clip of him winning winning. This is the 3rd win when he won Best Rap Album, and this was being presented by Jimmy Jam. Check this out.
And the Grammy goes to Killer Mike. Michael.
You cannot tell me that you get too old. You can't tell me it's too late. You can't tell me dreams come true. It is a sweet. It is a sweet. It is a sweet.
Bring out the champagne, roll up an airplane. Life is a rare thing. Life is a rare thing. I'ma live forever.
Music, computers, and robbers and looters with shooters and shooters.
So that is Killer Mike. Now here's the funny thing now, and this is why this is why I have to talk about it, because Killer Mike is from here, is from Atlanta. So, as you can see, I'm always repping Atlanta. I mean, we're here in the ATL, baby, so we're always repping Outkast. We're always rep Killer Mike. And Mike's a great, great guy. I've had CeeLo Green on the show before. We've been in ATL for a minute. I've lived in Atlanta now for about 40 years. I've been in Atlanta for 40 years. So I've been here for a minute. So here's basically what the scenario is. Hoffler said he got arrested. Yeah, we're going to talk about that in a second. So if you're outside of Atlanta, you may not know all the drama that comes with Killer Mike, because people in Atlanta, the Black community specifically, is really divided in Killer Mike. You got the people that are hip hop purists that love the fact that, Killer Mike has been around forever. And, he's been, representing just anything that has to do with supporting the Black communities and just uplifting people and really kind of going to bat for people to just to kind of even the playing field for whatever it is, any type of social injustices. Killer Mike is that dude. But what ticks people off, or where the division lies, is because, well, the latest thing was we had two people running for governor here in Georgia. So I may be giving you a little bit of a background story here. And it was Governor Kemp, who's a governor now, and also Stacey Abrams. Everybody knows who Stacey Abrams is. Stacey Abrams had a pretty, I mean, Georgia is pretty much very, very pivotal in any campaign, political campaigns. We are a really big swing state in a lot of different things. We've always kind of tilted, one way or the other, depending on what area that you're in. But overall, it's just, I don't know how to say this. Georgia, for the most part, is always leaned Republican as a state. But you have these huge, massive pockets like Atlanta that's always leaned a little bit Democrat. Well, they expected Killer Mike, most people expected Killer Mike to kind of come out and support Stacey Abrams to kind of help, push her over. And I don't know what people's thoughts are on Mike, but he doesn't have the kind of pull like, okay, I'm going to endorse this person and then they're going to win. He doesn't have that kind of pull. I mean, he has a little bit of pull. I mean, he definitely has pull, within the Black communities, but the problem is that people have to go out and vote. That's it. If there's somebody that you want to win, if there's somebody that you want to support, whatever that reasoning is, go vote. Go vote. There's plenty of people who refuse to vote. Prince, matter of fact, he refused to vote. He was like, I'm not voting. I don't know what his reasoning was. I know there was, I don't know if it was religious reasons or whatever. I don't know what the whole core of that was, but he just was just didn't vote. But anyways, so because he did not support Stacey Abrams and he was actually backing Kemp, who was about the whitest white guy that lived in the white world. He's like Southern. He's just like this Southern guy. And it really struck a really bad chord for a lot of people. And it really kind of pushed a lot of people off to the side. So there was a very, very, very big divide. And then, hello, everybody. And then was it Friday night? Friday night, the new episode of Bill Maher's show came on. And Bill Maher's guest, Bill Maher, if you've ever watched Bill Maher normally has like 3 guests. One guest he'll bring out and he'll talk with them one-on-one about whatever the topics are. And then he'll have another 2 guests that will sit with him at a table. And that's a longer part of the show. They'll actually debate a bunch of things. But Killer Mike was on the show this past Friday. And here's what is insane, because a lot of people expected him to just come out swinging and really help the Democratic vote and tell people you need to vote for Biden because Trump is freaking crazy, whatever. And that's not what happened. I will actually show you what happened right now. Hopefully I won't get kicked off by YouTube again, but check this clip out from Killer Mike on Bill Maher. It's about 1:50. I want you to kind of hear exactly what he said, because all Bill Maher was trying to get him to do is say anything but support Trump. Now he didn't say, just watch this. This kind of give you an idea of how Killer Mike processes information. Check this out.
What are your feelings on the election coming up? I mean, Biden and Trump, are you as depressed about that as most people as a choice?
My feeling is pick your policy, not your person. Find out. This is not the Dallas Cowboys versus your favorite team. This is the policies that will affect our generations for the next 20, 30, 40 years to come. So close your eyes, listen to the policies that are being pushed, and pay attention even to the people who don't have a chance of winning, because they're going to say policies you may want to push. And I would say do that, but make it policy based.
So that means you're for.
That means I'm for black people and happy Black History Month.
But you're not saying one candidate over the other?
Hey man, my nigga, you ain't gonna get me in no trouble tonight. Hey,
no, that's your job with me, to get me in trouble.
My grandfather gave me some stellar advice sometimes. He said, son, sometimes you just got to know to stay out of white folks' business. And this time, I'm going to keep my mouth closed. I still like the policy that the old man had that I was supporting. I would encourage people to find who's supporting that policy and see what happens.
But you can't get yourself to say vote for Biden over Trump?
You want me to list it now? So now
I'm just saying that.
Can he get himself to apologize for the crime bill? Can he get himself to get his head out of his ass and say, black people, you are black regardless. I need you to tell me what I need to do. Can he pick a coalition of former people who are affected by drug laws, street gangs, recidivism and crime, and say, I need you as a board to advise me how to fix federal prisons? If he can do that, absolutely I can. So my challenge is out there.
All right.
All right, so I just got booted by YouTube again. So, all right. Sorry for all YouTube folks if you keep getting interrupted. I'll make sure that it gets resolved. But basically, this is his issue. His scenario is he votes on policies. He wants to. It doesn't matter if you're white. It doesn't matter if you're black. It doesn't matter if you're Hispanic. It doesn't matter if you're. It doesn't matter any of that. He wants what's going to be best for his communities. And that's the way that he's always been. And if you watch that full interview with Bill Maher, he actually goes into a lot of details about some of his background and how he was raised. And it's just, that is his deal. He pays attention to policies, and that's it. He doesn't care if the best policies that are going to help his community are going to come from Trump, then that's how he's going to vote. He doesn't care about the character of a person, because totally honest, there's not a whole bunch of people of great moral fortitude and character that run for political office. There's been exceptions to those rules, but for the most part, there's been a lot of people that that are just really shady people, and they have all kinds of skeletons in their closet that just go. I mean, that's just the reality of it. Pay attention to the policy. I see. Oh, when I'm back on YouTube. Okay, thank you. Pay attention to the policies. When you're voting, pay attention to the policies. But anyways, all this being said, Killer Mike, this just happened on Friday. And then you had then 2 days later, you had the Grammy Awards where he swept it. And this wasn't something, these votes weren't something that was decided on Saturday, the night before. These votes were counted and the envelopes were sealed and it was done. They had all the graphics prepped. Everything was done. And you're talking about somebody who is now in the middle of Liberal Town, USA, Trump hater central. And he's now just done this on Friday. And he's just agitated a bunch of people. He has agitated a bunch of people. And apparently one of these people happened to be, I guess, a security guard or somebody who decided, oh, well, Killer Mike bumped into me wrong. And so therefore I'm going to, and then as a result, he got arrested that night. Not as a result of all this political stuff, but everybody is kind of, the rumor and conjecture is that everything that has happened politically and everything that's going on with the particular climate led to this. He got arrested. So there you are. So he got arrested. Yeah. So he wins, and of course, I don't know. Congratulations, Mike. He's got your back. I hate that people get like this but you are in an amazing, it is a hostile political environment. And right now, especially with Democrats, because the Democrats are spinning their wheels, just freaking out because they do not have a candidate that can stand toe to toe with Trump. And the Republicans don't have there's so many Republicans that do not want Trump to be in that mix either. But the Republicans don't have anybody that can go toe to toe with him either. And it's insane. It's insane. This is going to be a terrifying political cycle. And it's going to get worse. It's going to get worse. If you're not a Trump supporter, man, you got it going on. It's going to be a great year for you. But if you're not, which a lot of people are not, it's going to be a very scary year. Yeah, I don't know. What can I tell you? Here's what I can tell you. Congratulations to Killer Mike for having a fantastic evening and sweeping. That's right, Atlanta. It's a sweep. Congratulations for sweeping. And you know what's also really funny? To kind of close on this is that after he won these people that have these rap podcasts, there was one, I saw one that popped up on Twitter. Some guy had a podcast that had like a couple 100,000 followers. And he was like, I don't even know who this Killer Mike is. And I don't even know, what he's doing and blah, 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 blah. And was like, how do you not know? If you're in hip hop and you have a hip hop / rap channel, how do you not know who Killer Mike is? I mean, do you like Kendrick Lamar? Because Kendrick Lamar in his song Hood Politics has a line in Hood Politics that says, critics want to mention that they miss when hip hop was rapping. Mother effer, if you did, then Killer Mike would be platinum. I mean, he already mentioned it in Hood Politics. He was talking about how Killer Mike is like one of the best to do it. And a lot of people forget about he was on Stankonia from Outkast and that song, The Whole World and the Whole World of Outkast. He had a great verse in that song too. That was a glitter, gloss, floss. I catch a beat running like Randy Moss or whatever it was. I don't remember the whole rap, but Killer Mike has been around for a very, very long time. And again, he also had Run the Jewels, which has been fantastic. Just really, really powerful albums. So I just don't understand how people don't know who he is, especially, I can get it if you're not a rap person or if you're not a hip hop person, or if you're from somewhere outside of the ATL. As an ATLian, we have to know who Killer Mike is. We have to know who everybody is. As that comes from the whole Dungeon Family universe. It's just, that's the reality of ATL. If you're in music at all, because, it's the dirty South, baby. So it just surprises me that so many people don't know who Killer Mike is, but you can find all kinds of crazy interviews. Matter of fact, Charlemagne the God actually had an interview where this was coming up before when this whole Stacey Abrams thing was unraveling. There's a really good Charlemagne the God interview with him where he was talking about why he was supporting Kemp and what he felt like Kemp was doing right and what he felt like Stacey was doing wrong. But all in all, that to say, again, if there's somebody specific that you want to win in any type of campaign, in any type of politic, vote. You got to get out there and vote. You can't complain because your favorite rapper hasn't told you to vote for him. If you want somebody to win specifically, get off your ass and go vote. That's all there is to it. That's the biggest problem with the entire process is that, so many of the majority of people that are complaining are the ones that don't vote. You got to get out there and vote. You have to vote. That's what moves the needle. That's the reality of it. So anyway, I don't want to talk politics, even though I have been talking politics. So let's be done talking about Grammys in general. Let's be done talking about Grammys. Let's talk about Purple News. We know you want to talk about Purple News. And we got some Purple News too. So let me tell you. I know you guys are going to be excited about next week. You should be excited about next week because we actually have next Tuesday. We have let me put the graphic up. We have the one and only Marcus Thompson of the Timex Social Club that's going to be here next Tuesday. But wait, there's more. I wasn't going to do this until the very end of the show, but we also have special guests coming in on February 20th also. So next week, next Tuesday, we'll have Marcus Thompson from Timex Social Club that will be here. And on February 20th, y'all ready for this? Y'all ready? I hope you are. Michael Bland and Sonny T are going to be here February 20th. Right here. Michael Bland and Sonny T. February 20th. So you got your next 2 Tuesdays planned. Marcus Thompson from the Timex Social Club next Tuesday. And then the Tuesday following that, February 20th, Michael Bland and Sonny T are going to be here on the show. You'll want to tune in for that. It's going to be fantastic. I wasn't even going to share that until later, until the end of the show. I'll say it again at the end of the show. But man. Okay. So here's the thing. A lot of people have been asking me, so is Paisley Park going to be doing this celebration? You know what? People always say this. They would say, hey, we have, what's going on with the estate? Why are they, what's taking them so long to do celebration and blah, 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 blah. Okay. There is a balancing act between Paisley Park and the estate as far as the celebration is concerned. Paisley Park itself, as a building, as a location, has to be, how do I say this? Paisley Park is where the celebration happens. So the estate can kind of do things like, hook up the entertainment, get all the people involved that are going to be involved in everything that's going to be going on there. But Paisley Park is really the one that kind of has to kind of put the bolts down for the celebration because they are the host of the event. The estate kind of does some of the inner workings and stuff as far as talent and schedules and things like that are concerned. But Paisley Park, they both have equal I'm trying to think responsibility, I guess, to have the celebration. And I forgot to mention this last Tuesday, but last Tuesday on the 1st, was it February? No, it wasn't. It was the 31st. January 30th. January 30th. I can't remember what last Tuesday was. Maybe it was Wednesday. I don't know. One of the last 2 days of January, Paisley Park / the estate already made the announcement on their website and also via email to save the date. So we already knew that the celebration was happening. So we knew to start saving money, and we knew to start booking hotels, whatever, because they told us save the date June 7th or 11th or whatever the dates were last year. We don't have a save the date yet. I mean, I haven't checked my emails since I started this broadcast, but we do not have a save the date yet. This is very, very similar to what happened in 2022, right? Yeah, 2022, when we didn't find out until like a couple months before. And I realized, well, I don't know. I realize that there's a lot of planning and everything that goes into it. And I also realize that there's a heavy weight that has to do with the 40th anniversary of Purple Rain and the pressure that comes with this whole, specific timeline of Purple Rain. I just don't know. they have to be planning something. Obviously, they have to be planning something. And I will say that they did make, what was it? I think do I have the website saved? I want to say that I do. I will actually, I'll pull it up as soon as I can. But basically, they've kind of tried to latch on to anything. I don't know if it's a scenario where they can't lock down who they want to get to kind of handle some of this process with Purple Rain, because I've talked about it on the show before, where I've said, if you're going to do the 40th anniversary of Purple Rain, not even talking about what needs to be in the box set or what needs to be in the 40th anniversary edition of whatever this is going to be called of Purple Rain, but for the celebration specifically, there needs to be a lot going on. You need to have the Revolution playing there. You need to have, maybe even Des Dickerson and the Modernaires playing there. You need to have, a reunion of Apollonia 6. I don't know what you got to do, but you have to do something that is going to be impactful of that 40th anniversary of Purple Rain. There has to be something that makes sense. And I don't know if it's a scenario where they can't get together and they can't meet on this. The terms, I don't know. It seems like, there's a lot of people that have been locking things down like a year in advance. I don't know. But here's what I do know. They have put a lot of eggs in this basket here, which is the Purple Rain Broadway premiere. Now, this isn't even happening until 2025. 2025, you read that correctly. It's the pre-Broadway world premiere. This is a website, purplerainbroadway.com. You can actually go right now. If you're on the radio station, you're like, oh, I want to see this. There's not much to see. It's the Purple Rain logo with the Purple Rain font with a black background and some purple smoke coming up. And it says pre-Broadway world premiere Purple Rain at the State Theater in Minneapolis. And it says spring 2025. And there is a button to get on the list. I have not yet clicked on the button, but I'll click it while we're all here. How about that? Oh, there it is. Sorry. You click on it and then it gives you the email address and you put in your email address. You just put in your email address. Let's say funkatopia@gmail.com and we'll just see what happens. So at some point in time, they will send you an email and they'll just say, there it is. That's it. So let's continue to our website. Let's see what that takes you back to things. So that's it. That's all there is to it. And we already know that, the Prince estate, the Prince Twitter account pushed this out just a couple of hours ago, a few hours ago. And Purple Rain Broadway will happen in Minneapolis, but not this year, not for the 40th anniversary, spring 2025. So not even this year, 2025. But it's going to launch in Minneapolis. How many days? Is it going to be there for a couple weeks before it goes to New York and does Broadway? Is it even going to be on Broadway? Is it going to be on off Broadway? I don't know. It's just there it is. Now, if it had said spring 2024, then you could say to yourself, okay, this is something that they're going to latch onto for this 40th anniversary. This is going to be the coup de grace. This is going to be the piece de resistance is the Purple Rain Broadway. This is what they're going to do for the 40th, but it's not even doing that. It is, I don't know. I don't know what to tell you guys about the celebration. I'm assuming that it is going to happen. We probably will not find out about it. I see that people mentioning things about Londell being involved in other things like the Source Awards and stuff like that. I don't know. That's all hearsay because I don't know. I don't know what Londell's schedule is. I don't know what he's involved in. I don't know what level he's involved in anything. So I am not going to comment on any of those things. But I just don't know what his capacity is for a celebration. I know that the celebration should be a primary focus for him for sure. And just the estate in general. But the other part of the estate obviously is the other side of the folks like Sharon Nelson, who just released her brand new song called Sitting in a Dream. And she announced on Twitter that her brand new song called Sitting in a Dream, which is this kind of dreamy is not really the right word, but it's basically a song that talks about her going to sleep and a lover is coming to her in a dream and is calling out to her. And it's a video of her bedroom and she's walking around in these silk pajamas with kind of what you see here. And she's kind of walking around and sitting on her phone and going to sleep and drink. It's just, so Sharon's not really concerned too much about the celebration. Mainly because she's being kept out of it. So it doesn't matter. Even if she wanted to do something, we've talked about this before. They've kind of, she kind of signed herself into a corner. She's really not involved with the celebration at all. I don't know. Sharon's got a brand new song out. If you want to hear it, you can go to Sharon, look at Sharon L. Nelson's Twitter account, and there's a video that's there. But it's a brand new song that she has out now called Sitting in a Dream, and it's out. So there's that. So I don't know what to tell you about the celebration. I'm hoping it's coming. I don't know. Happy birthday to the one and only Bob Marley. Happy heavenly birthday, obviously. He turned 79 today. And they've got a brand new movie that's coming out called One Love. I know this is not really purple news, but it's kind of in here. They are, I think I've seen a lot of concern, even on the posts on Facebook. I see a lot of people very, very concerned about the artist or the actor that is playing the part of Bob Marley, how he doesn't really look like Bob Marley at all. Doesn't really talk like Bob Marley at all. And it just doesn't give a vibe of Bob Marley. And they're basing that on the previews that have been popping up, I guess, where he's riding around with his kids in the car. So I don't know. It's just, I don't know. I'm trying to remember the guy. One of you fine folks in here, who is the name of the actor that is playing playing Bob? I can't remember his name. He was sitting matter of fact, they were at the Grammys. Ziggy Marley was sitting with the actor that is playing his father at the Grammys. And I can't remember his name. One of you fine folks will help me. You guys will just look it up. Just somebody look it up for me, because I don't want to sit here and clack away. But anyways, a lot of people are concerned that he's not going to be able to portray Bob correctly. And there are some really fantastic documentaries that are out there on Bob. Kinsley Ben Adir. Thank you, Francis. And you've probably seen him before. He's been in a lot of different things he's been in a lot of different, I think he played, didn't he play Malcolm X? He played Malcolm X in that TV broadcast that was just out at the beginning of February. Anyways, that's what's happening. And I'm actually looking forward to seeing it just for the story itself. Thank you, Cammie. Cammie, somebody's beating you to the producer role. Like everybody's coming on a Kingsley Benedict. So I'm looking forward to seeing it just because I want to see it. I'm interested in seeing because I just love, I said the same thing. Blessing says, couldn't one of his sons play him? Because obviously a lot of them, he has 7 sons and a lot of them are like spitting images of him. But somebody had pointed out all of his sons are like older than he was when he passed away. But, with CGI and makeup and everything, they could easily probably make it happen. But then there was also you're going to know that that's Ziggy, or you're going to know that, So I don't know. Looking forward to it. And Lisa says his sons aren't actors. Yeah. And Conrad says Ziggy signed off on it, so I'm good with that. So if Ziggy signed off on it, cool. Obviously you have to say, is it great? I don't know. We'll find out. So I don't know if any of you guys got an opportunity to see the unbelievable mural that we got here in East Point, Georgia, for the new Prince mural that we have in East Point, which is kind of a little bit of a nod to the same one that we have in Phoenix. And Maggie Keene came here to Atlanta and did this unbelievable mural. It was gorgeous. But there were actually 2 murals that were unveiled that day. There was one for Robert Smalls, who a lot of people don't know who Robert Smalls was. And I'll be honest, I knew that he was a representative in South Carolina, and I think that's all that I knew about him. I did not know everything about his past, about him being a slave and how he escaped, and how not only did he escape, but he escaped like down in Savannah, I think it was, and he commandeered a ship, like a full-blown ship, not like a dinghy or a rowboat or like like a ship. And he had learned, there's like so much to his story. I mean, he had learned all of the passwords because there was all these ports that he had to get through. And the only way you could get through it is by knowing all the passwords, and they would find out who you are if you didn't know what the password was. And somehow he found out all the pass. It was like a whole thing, and he escaped with a whole bunch of people. And then Robert Small's story is friggin' unreal. So they had 2 murals that were happening, and one was the Robert Smalls mural. But before the Robert Smalls mural, and before they even unveiled either one of them, I was asked by Shining Light Foundation to come and speak on behalf of the Prince mural. And so I was very, very hesitant because not only because I think it's a really momentous occasion, but I kind of felt like the ATL folks are going to kill me if I don't do this. So I was just like, all right, okay, I'll do it. So I went to do it, and some people took pictures of me. This is actually a picture that Jeff took, and I wanted to dress the part. And I was sitting with, on one side of me was Gisette, who is the one of the founders of the Shining Light Foundation, who their whole thing is they put murals all over the country. They got a lot of them in Arizona. They got some in California or whatever. Some of them are Prince murals. Other of them are just, people that are just, just murals of Black excellence all over the country. And so there's Gisette, and then there's another gentleman that's sitting next to me, and he is one of the, I don't know, he works for Microsoft, but he's like part of like some cultural part of the organization that kind of goes and makes sure that, everything is how it should be. And then on my left was Robert Small's great grandson. So I'm sitting next to Robert Small's great grandson sitting right next to me. And then beside him is actor Marvin Jones III, who many of you might know from CW's Black Knight Lightning. He's there. So I'm sitting in the middle of people that have actually accomplished stuff. And here was what I was wearing. I literally look like a fat disco banker is basically what I look like. That was what I felt like. So I was trying to stay calm, but yes, that's the best explanation I can have is fat disco banker. That's how I felt. But this is what I was wearing. And what's fun, here's a funny story. So I'm sitting there and I'm very, very calm. I didn't feel like I was freaking out. I didn't really feel nervous. I had my speech on paper, unfortunately, because it was windy. So that, just imagine. And then I'm sitting there and I feel like I'm calm. And Gisette gets up and she speaks. The gentleman from Microsoft gets up and he speaks. And I know that after the Microsoft guy is done, I'm coming up. I'm still feeling pretty calm. I'm not really feeling stressed out at all about it. I feel pretty relatively calm. And then my watch, I have an Apple Watch, and it started buzzing on my wrist. And I'm like, who is sending me a text right now? Who is sending me a text? People know where I'm at. And I looked at my watch, and my Apple Watch says, it appears that your heart rate has increased. I'm like, what? Am I not okay? I thought I was okay. Am I not okay? My watch is telling me I'm not okay. My watch is telling me that I have a high blood pressure right now. My watch is telling me that I'm freaking the fuck out. I'm like, thank you, Apple Watch, for totally screwing up my entire vibe. I thought it was fine. Comes to find out, my watch is telling me I'm not fine. So anyways, I got up and did it anyways. I got up and I was fine. I maintained. I think it was just the moment, I guess, but it was just, that's just like the worst possible thing that could happen is like, hey, I'm about to go up. My watch is buzzing and it's telling me, hey, you're not okay. Your blood pressure is really high or your heart rate's really, really high. Like, oh, you son of a bitch. So, anyways, I got up. It was great. It was fine. We had a good time. And they did. And here is actually a picture for those who don't know, or may think, you know, who Marvin Jones III is. Again, he's the actor. He plays, he's on CW's Black Lightning. And I could have sworn I've seen him on something else before. Maybe I'm getting him mixed up with somebody else, but I was like, I know I've seen this guy somewhere else before. Because I was like, I've never watched CW's Black Lightning, but a lot of people know who he is. But he's anyways, it was great. And then of course after he got done speaking, they unveiled the Robert Smalls mural. This is the guy in the blue outfit here. He is actually the artist that did this. So phenomenal. That was actually, so we actually had a drawing of the ship that he had commandeered. Of course, it's got a very, very regal picture from when he had was in Congress. I can't remember exactly what his exact title was, but there was Captain Robert Smalls. And this mural was unbelievable. So fantastic. And then, of course, as I had already shared, this was the mural that Maggie Keene had done. And that's in East Point, Georgia. And you can actually see it on the side of the building at Brownie's Cleaners in East Point, Georgia. So if you ever happen to go to come to Georgia and you want to see this mural live in person, it's at East Point, and it's called Brownie's Cleaners. So yeah, it's very, very cool. It looked pretty amazing. And I'm glad we got one, because I was getting a little jealous that kind of Phoenix had gotten all the love. And the guy who owns Brownie's Cleaner is this little Asian guy, and he was so excited. They were like going to have him do. They asked him if they could do the mural, and he was like, He was like, yes, you can do the mural. Yes. And so it's fantastic, and love it. It's great to be there. And Jason said there's a mural down at Fox Brothers Barbecue. Have I not seen it? What's there, Jason? Jason says I need to go down to Fox Brothers Barbecue. I don't even know where that mural is. I mean, is it I know Fox Brothers has locations in Atlanta. Is it an Atlanta location that the mural is at? I don't know what that is. So I'd have to go check it out too. Also, yeah. So, all right. So here's a couple of things that I'm going to wrap up with. I kind of want to, again, I wasn't even planning on being on here tonight, but because of the fact that, the Grammys were this past Sunday, we had all the issues going on with Killer Mike. A lot of people were asking what's going on with the celebration. I had the announcement to make about the shows coming up next Tuesday and the Tuesday following. I also wanted to let you know that you should be able to have a brand new app, a brand new Funked Up app this week. We are putting the final touches. I wanted to get it out before the end of January, but we got some other things too. But maybe I can show it to you. It's very, very cool. So this is the brand new app. And essentially when you first start up the app, it has all the, so the live shows, like this live show will be on there. So when you first start it up, you'll see all the live shows. So if you want to listen to any of these ramblings and whatnot, you can check that out. Then of course you've got the radio station itself, and which is being renamed to Uptown Radio. It was Purple Yoda Radio, but I don't want to be battling people for copyright and stuff and whatever. But what's really cool is that you hit play, and what will happen is, of course, right now it's saying no because I forgot to put. I'm gonna have to let me put this, turn it down, because I didn't put the title on here. Hold on a second. Let me do that real quick. I should have done that right out of the gate. Funkatopia Live. I'm gonna put free for all, and then update it. And what's really cool is that once I click on update, it should update. Now, the other thing cool is that you can actually switch on the top there. You can actually switch between the Funked Up app and, of course, the Uptown app. So that is the Funked Up app, and then of course there's the Uptown app, and there it is, Funkatopia Live, free for all. There it is, right there. And of course, you see that there is a little link on the top over here, so you can actually donate. What's really, really cool, obviously, is that you have, the logos. We've tested it with Apple Car Radio, so that's really great too. It is going to be awesome, and it will update on your phone. So if you already have the Funked Up app installed on your phone, as soon as we upload it to the stores, the Apple one should be done here shortly, in the next day or so. It should automatically update for you. I will, if you're on Android and you're a Patreon supporter, I can go ahead and put up the latest. I should be able to put up the latest build for you. If you want to download it for Android and just install it, you can pre-install it. But I really, one of the reasons why I didn't want to do that was because there are a little teeny small, as you can see on the very, very top, there's a little small ad that's running up there, and it doesn't get in the way. It doesn't stop or interrupt the music. It's just something that we, hopefully will, based on impressions, will hopefully generate a little bit of revenue to kind of offset some of these costs. Because as you know, both of those radio stations, both the Funked Up app and Uptown Radio, are ASCAP licensed radio stations. So, got a lot of stuff in here, and it's very cool. And what's really cool is that a lot of the apps. Oh, here's what's really cool. Right here on the bottom, you can click on See Station History, and it actually shows you the songs that have already played. It shows you the bumpers that have played, the songs that played. So you can actually see the songs that have played. And if you want to purchase them, you're like, oh, sweet, I want to be able to buy that. You can click on the song, and it will take you to Amazon, where you can purchase the track. So it's a lot of stuff, and huge shout out to Michael Sweet, who has been really doing an insane amount of work on this app to make the upgrade like an upgrade. So really excited about it, and it's fine. We are right here at the finish line. Just everything that all the updates and things changes that we're making are just little tweaks, just to make it better and run smoother and just be a better app. And yes, thank you, Cami. Thank you. Please support Funkatopia. I mean, either via one-time donations. You're like, I don't want to support anything monthly. But here's what's cool is that if you join Patreon, every month I send out music files. I send out little things like the two top tiers. I normally send out once a year. I'll send out gifts to, whether it's coffee mugs, whether it's books, whether it's I send out third eye glasses to supporters. So, I mean, it just depends on how the month kind of goes, because again, with ASCAP licensing, what's a problem is that you pay for the song that was played, how many minutes that it was played, and how many people listen to it. So there's like a bunch of math that happens. And so months kind of just it goes nuts. And it's an expense, but the reality of it is that I didn't want to have a radio station online. I've seen some people that in purple circles who have their radio stations that are out there and they're not ASCAP licensed. So they are not paying for the music. They're just, yes, it's great. You can listen to them and some of them have really cool playlists and whatnot, but they're not paying for it. So essentially you're stealing from that artist. You're stealing from Prince. You're stealing from whoever it is that you're listening to. And that may be fine and dandy. Even if you're going to do that, at least do it on Spotify, because at least Spotify, they still pay the artist. They don't pay him jack. But I mean, just be careful. You know what I'm saying? It's just Funkatopia, the Funked Up app is ASCAP licensed. So please support us. Either one-time donations. You can do it on Venmo at Funkatopia, Funkatopia. I always have to emphasize that A in the middle. Also Cash App, $Funkatopia. Or you can just go to patreon.com/Funkatopia, which is patreon.com/Funkatopia. You can check out the files. And what's cool about this is that I put the files on the site. So if you join, you can see the files for the month. You're not going to have to wait until the first. You can, once you join, you're in. You can see the files that are there that have been previously downloaded. And just hit it, man. This is awesome. So thank you so much for, for that. And a lot of people want to know, Arlene says, ooh, thank you. Nice station history. Yes. We wanted to make sure that you guys had, a lot of people want to know, what the song was that just played, and it kind of goes off. Or if you're riding in the car and you hear a song like, oh my God, that was a great song, but I'm driving, and you finally get to a stoplight and you look and the song's already gone and it's moved on to the next one. You can't see it. That sucks. So we're fixing it. So that's not going to be an issue anymore. Thank you, Michael. We love you. Okay. And again, I will say it one more time, just in case you missed it. Next Tuesday, we will have the one and only Marcus Thompson of the Timex Social Club. Is going to be here. It's going to be fun. We're going to talk about those rumors, which is pretty freaking awesome, because there's so much that we learned. There's just so much that we learned just from because he basically came on. I'm trying to see if I make sure that I uploaded that one. I'm trying to remember if that was up there or not. I want to make sure that if you missed it, you can actually check to see. I guess so. But anyways, he dropped in and dropped a truth bomb on us. So Susan Moonsey's birthday was week before last, like a week and a half ago, and we did a happy birthday. And Marcus from the Timex Social Club, who wrote the lyrics to the song Rumors, confirmed that the one about Susan, who says she's just a tease, just 6 feet tall, the camisole knock you to your knees, that he was talking about Susan Moonsey. That's who he was talking about. And the only reason why he said she was 6 foot tall was because of the fact that it just worked better lyrically. because it was just 5'11", didn't really flow too much off of the tongue. But he confirmed that he was writing specifically about Susan Moonsey. And we'll talk about that again next Tuesday, but there's some other really cool details about Timex Social Club, some of their history, some of the stuff that they were doing online. It's really kind of cool. So we're going to talk about that. He's going to be on the show. And as I mentioned, next Tuesday after that is the one and only Michael Bland and Sonny T are going to be here Tuesday, February 20th. They're going to drop in, talk about some really cool stuff that they're doing. And of course, we're going to talk about Purple Stories. Why would we not talk about Purple Stories? So we're going to be doing that. And so join us. It's going to be fun. Again, next Tuesday, this next 1 week from today, Marcus Thompson from the Timex Social Club. And 2 weeks from today, Michael Bland and Sonny T. So we got one more show to book for February, and we're done with February. It's got to be some nonstop. We just don't stop. I just can't stop, don't stop, won't stop. It's going to be great. And I hope you guys will join us for those shows. We're going to have a lot of fun for sure. And I hope you guys had a good Tuesday. I was just not going to do a show tonight, but I figured, why not? We had stuff to talk about, and I wanted to make that announcement right there. It was important that I tell you about Michael Bland and Sonny T coming here on February 20th. And we will talk. Oh, one more final thing before I go. The next week's show is on Tuesday, which is February 13th. On February 14th, it's Valentine's Day. And on Valentine's Day, what we will be doing, just so you know, is the Funked Up app will be playing Prince's love songs. That's right. We'll be playing a full 12 hours of love songs, and that includes everything. It's just Scandalous, Sex Suite, Kama Sutra, Adore, all the songs that you love, all the beautiful, all of that. It's going to be 12 hours of Valentine's Day love songs. And I think it's going to be, I haven't really figured out the time because I know a lot of you guys are on the West Coast. So if I do it from 12 to 12, then that technically ends at 9 o'clock for you on the West Coast, which is really not, that's, the romance time for, it's just gonna be a little bit later than that. I'm thinking maybe 3 to 3 or 2 to 2 or something like that. So that, I don't know. I'll figure it out. I'll let you guys tell me. I'll take a poll and you guys tell me when you want me to play. It'll be a 12-hour window. It's any more than that, it's just kind of too much because there's a lot of people that don't have anybody to spend Valentine's Day with. So that's like 12 hours of suffering. So I'm trying to kind of keep it to a minimum. But anyways, thank you guys so much for tuning in. I hope you had a fantastic time. I am going to turn you back to your regularly scheduled program. If you're listening on the Funked Up app, I'll turn it back on the radio station here in just a second. And again, be sure to download the Funked Up app. And please, 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 if you're listening on YouTube, if you got kicked off and came back on, please click follow and subscribe or whatever. If you're on Facebook, please make sure that you are following Funkatopia because literally, no joke, I'm only a few hundred away on Facebook from crossing 60,000 followers. No joke, 60,000 followers. So please, if you have not clicked follow on Facebook yet, please do so. And I would greatly appreciate it. Because I want to get to 60,000 before we get to next Tuesday. So next Tuesday I can go, hey, we're at 60,000. That'd be fantastic. And my goal is to cross 100,000 before this year. That's my goal. It's going to take a lot, but I'm going to do it. I'm going to do everything I possibly can. So I hope you guys have a fun night. I know this is a little bit shorter than I normally do, but that's because it's just me hanging out and no breaks. So good night. I hope everybody had a fun time. Kiaria says 6 a.m. to 6 p.m. No, that's most people's romance time is like at night. I don't know. I'll figure it out. We'll talk about it. You guys just let me know. Good night, everyone. Have a good one and happy Tuesday. We'll see you tomorrow. Maybe on Facebook or somewhere. Good night.